Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. It is time now for Medical Moments with Covenant Healthcare. Joining us this morning is Melissa Mansur. Thank you so much for being here. How are you, Melissa?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me this morning.
Of course, we're delighted to get your valuable information this morning. Today we are talking about orthopedic occupational therapy. Now, Melissa, you are an occupational therapist with Mary Free Bed at Covenant, and people don't always realize that there's a difference between physical therapy and occupational therapy. So can you explain when someone would see an occupational therapist versus a physical therapist for orthopedic issues?
Sure. So within the orthopedic setting, so dealing with musculoskeletal, so you're thinking bones, joints, muscles, an occupational therapist is going to work with someone who could have experienced an injury to their upper extremity, their arm. And generally here in our clinic, we'll handle anything from the hand, wrist, elbow, occasionally the shoulder, whereas the PT is going to work in a broader sense in the entire body, the neck, the back, your legs, and then the OT more specifically can help with adapting in instances when something can't be repaired or changed. So for example, if they need a functional splint or brace to the arm, or adaptive equipment to help with being able to function on an independent level.
Well, thank you for breaking that down for us. That helps out a lot. Now, what types of conditions do you commonly see as well as others that aren't as common, Melissa?
Oh, sure. So some of the most common we see are fractures, so like a finger fracture, wrist fracture, tendon or ligament injury. So if there's a rupture to a tendon, that helps to control the movement of the finger. We can help with the rehab after the surgery takes place, or one that maybe didn't require surgery, so like tennis elbow, golfer's elbow. We see nerve injuries, so like carpal tunnel syndrome, muscle strains, post-surgicals, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. Some that we see that we don't commonly see, which is a good thing, complex regional pain syndrome, and then more recently in current times also debility following COVID. So when someone has generalized weakness, we help with rebuilding that back as well.
Okay, so Melissa, if one of our viewers are saying, oh my gosh, this might be for me, what would be the benefit of working with an OT or occupational therapist?
Well, we know that injuries can have a major impact. They can have minor impacts, but also a major impact in our everyday lives. So the OT can help with determining, okay, what are those current deficits and learning about that person's prior level of function. So who were they before this injury happened? What were they doing? And now what can't they do? And then together collaborate on setting goals with that individual and working through that process of helping to improve pain, their function, and just their overall quality of life of getting back to who they were before this injury took place.
Oh, that's great. So how does someone go about getting OT services, Melissa?
Most people can get it through their primary care doctor. What you would need is a referral or an order from their doctor. It could be also their specialist, so if they're seeing a hand surgeon, if they're just seeing maybe some type of orthopedic specialist or sports medicine doctor, they can also refer. So basically any doctor that they're working with can write an order for that person to come in for an evaluation and then further treatment.
And what locations does Mary Free Bed offer OT services?
So we have several locations, and not all of our locations are going to offer occupational therapy. The locations that do offer occupational therapy, we have two in our Saginaw area. So we have our new main campus right behind the emergency room at Covenant. We also have our Mackinac location, so that's on the corner of Mackinac and Tittabawassee. We have our location in Bay City, and that's in the Med Express building across from Meyer on Wilder Road. We also have our Frankenmuth location, and I think those are all of the locations that we have.
That's great, and there's definitely a location in your own backyard. Thank you so much for bringing us this information today. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoy it.
Of course. Thank you, Melissa. And if you'd like any more additional information on today's topic, just head on over to the hot links page. That is at WNEM.com.